Everybody, we finally have some great news. A bipartisan group of 10 senators said Thursday that they had reached a provisional infrastructure deal. In a joint statement, Mitt Romney, Rob Portman, and several other senators told reporters on Capitol Hill that we are discussing our approach with our respective colleagues in the White House.
Of legislation to bring our country together and unite our country, and I'm not supporting that because I think it would divide us further. I don't want to be in a country that's divided any further than I'm in right now. I love my country, and I think my Democrat and Republican colleagues feel the same.
And now both parties remain optimistic that this deal can lay the groundwork to garner broad support from both parties and meet America's infrastructure needs. So yes, everybody, it seems like a fourth stimulus check might be sent out before the end of the year. And if you believe that we should get a $1,000 monthly stimulus check, then feel free to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thank you so much for your support, everybody.
Allies here hoping to harness their common cause and to erase memories of former President Trump's America First agenda, demonstrating that democracies together can address the biggest challenges of today.
Was laid off in January. She has yet to be able to get through to the unemployment office. And she's living at home now. She's trying to get it. She wants to work. She's trying to get a job, make things happen. And you cannot figure out a way to get the unemployment office to call you back. But criminals can figure out a way to get that money.
So according to two sources that are familiar with the talks, the deal includes $579 billion in new spending, for a total of $1.2 trillion in infrastructure funding over 8 years. The senators said in their statement that this proposal would be fully paid for and not include tax increases. They accelerated their work after talks between President Biden and Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Other senators in the group include Susan Collins and Bill Cassidy, and even Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Folks, a few senators sound skeptical about this. Roy Blunt of Missouri, a member of the Republican leadership, said an agreement among the 10 senators would be a pretty low entry step to a deal that can get 60 votes to pass the chamber. Any deal would be likely to need the support of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to attract the 10 Republicans needed to defeat a filibuster. But folks, many people are saying the Republicans are trying to weigh the politics of the talks and whether they might be seen as resisting too much or not enough. Republican Senator Kevin Cramer told reporters, "I remain open-minded. It is the best bet we have right now for something that's not just jamming something down our throats." Democrats are not on the same page about what should happen next, with some insisting that they won't support a deal that excludes priorities like clean energy investments to combat climate change. And folks, some Democrats are trying to pressure the leadership to abandon bipartisan talks and instead push through a partisan bill. But the party needs 50 Democratic votes for that tactic. What are your thoughts on these lawmakers, everybody? Do you believe that our politicians are doing a good job of helping out the American people like you and I? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. Deputy White House Press Secretary Andrew Bates stated, "The president appreciates the senators' work to advance critical investments that we need to create good jobs." He also added that the White House staff members and other aides in Congress will work with the Senate group to get answers to the questions around policies and pay-fors. Now, millions of Americans are still feeling the financial sting of the economic crisis, and this means that automatic stimulus payments must be set up. And so the IRS just distributed over 2.8 million refunds to taxpayers as automatic payments, meaning you don't have to fill out any forms or to sit on hold for an hour to get your money. An unexpected refund might be a welcome windfall if you've been hoping for a bit more government money to help with expenses or to pay down debt. Millions of Americans who lost their jobs during the first 9 months of the crisis, including some who might still be looking to work, were forced to file for unemployment benefits for the first time as businesses closed or cut back operations all across the nation. Normally, unemployment benefits are taxed like any other income. But the American Rescue Plan that Joe Biden signed into law excludes from 2020 taxes up to $10,200 in unemployment compensation per taxpayer. So those who filed their taxes ahead of the relief law may have overpaid based on what they thought they owed. If your income was below $150,000 in 2020 and you claimed federal unemployment benefits last year, you may have a surprise refund coming. According to the Century Foundation, some 40 million Americans received unemployment payments in 2020. The average beneficiary got around $14,000. So far, the IRS has identified 13 million taxpayers who may be eligible for the adjustment. Thank you for watching, everybody. I truly appreciate everyone's amazing support. Until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
Disclosed that you were on the board of Raytheon Technologies, one of the nation's largest defense contractors. And that caused me to ask you for some commitments about ethics issues that you would face. Existing ethics laws already require some commitments, but they don't go nearly far enough. And this matters a lot because the Pentagon spends $360 billion every year on goods and services provided by contractors, and those contractors have a revolving door with the DoD. So that's why I've introduced legislation to strengthen ethics rules for all public officials. But it's also why I asked you during your hearing to extend your recusal from matters involving Raytheon for the duration of your government service. I asked you to pledge not to receive or not to seek a waiver of that recusal and to refrain from seeking compensation from a giant defense contractor within 4 years of leaving government service. And you agreed to make those commitments, and I want you to know, I appreciate that. I think the American people appreciate that too. Secretary Austin, as I recall, you explained that you voluntarily made these commitments because you think it's important that the American people have concrete assurances so that they never doubt that you are working for them and not for giant defense contractors, right?
Yes, that's true.
Good. And I just want to say, I also asked several Trump nominees to make the same commitments, and they refused. You, by contrast, demonstrated considerable leadership in making those commitments. Now, since your confirmation, the Senate has confirmed 5 additional nominees to go to work at the Pentagon. Not a single one of them was on the board of a major defense contractor. None of them reported that the bulk of their income came from our most powerful contractors. And I appreciated that, and I supported all of their nominations. But this committee is now being asked to consider nominees who don't meet that test. And in these cases, when nominees report the vast majority of their income from major defense contractors, either through direct employment or consulting, or when they're on those companies' boards, I plan to ask nominees to make the same voluntary ethics commitments that you did during your confirmation. So let me ask you, Secretary Austin, do you agree that the people working for you...
Poverty is incredible. We got a lot of problems. What we are saying here is we have a program that can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 27 years. So within the great scope of the problems facing this country, of which there are many, this is not the most pressing problem. Should we address this problem to make sure that it is there